My name is Bernie Labati and thank you for tuning in. We are now discussing the Vanessa Goosen story, which is a story about her arrest, incarceration and life and death sentence while in a Thai prison. Vanessa, welcome.
Thank you, Pastor Bernie.
We know the story thus far. You have been to Thailand, you bought the clothes and things that you went for. You ended up at the airport after having done somebody a favor to bring some books back.
Yes.
What happened?
What happened when I was on my way back to South Africa, they had a general search. So when they got to my bags, they asked me if they could search my bag. And I said yes. And because I had a lot of fashion magazines, as well with these 4 other engineering books for my boyfriend's friend. And I said, it's okay, he can check it. But when he pulled out a small little knife, and I was like, what are you going to do? And he said, no, don't worry. He then started putting this little knife in the books. But when he got to these engineering books, it contained powder, because powder came out. And at that moment when that powder came out, I was like, I'm in trouble. And then he took me to the investigation room. When I got to the room, they tore the books apart, and both the front and the back cover was with, there was 4 windows, so it was covered with powder. So when he got this little tester and he put the powder in there, it turned purple. And he asked me, you know what's this? I said, no. He said, heroin. I didn't even know that heroin was a drug. It's the first time I ever heard of that name, heroin. And then he took me to a poster. We could see I had no understanding. When he took me to the poster, it was in English. So it said that heroin, death sentence. And right there, I realized I'm in a lot of trouble. So when he took me back, they took me for an X-ray. And when I was so confused, but I laid on the bed to take an X-ray, and then I realized I'm pregnant. So I jumped up and I said, no. And they told me, no, I should go back. And I started to explain to this woman, I'm pregnant. And then is when she realized, they let me go. And when I went to sit back on the bench, I realized that I'm in trouble. I started panicking, like having like a panic attack. I was sitting there, my heart was beating so fast, my feet was getting cold. I felt like my breathing is going to stop. And I felt like I was going to go crazy. I was going to go insane. And I just felt I needed that person just to hug me. I need somebody to hug me, just to remain sane. And when I got this only person that was sitting next to me was this officer. And then I grabbed the officer. And when I grabbed him, I held him so tight. And I just started crying. You know that cry that really comes from the depths of your inner being? And I was shaking, and he pushed me away. And I just fell on the floor and I started crying. And then when the officers came, and they took me to the minivan to take me to the police station. But at that particular time, I did not know it's a police station. I was scared, I was afraid. I was the only one in this minivan with about 8 police officers. So when we got to the place, it was dark, and there was a chain on the lock. And I couldn't understand how a police station could be locked, because our police station is open 24/7. And when they unlocked it, put on the lights, I could see it's a police station, because there was beds and there was desks. The beds was kind of like foreign to me. But then they only asked me, do you want to sleep upstairs or downstairs? While there was porn movies playing. I was afraid. I didn't know what they were planning to do to me.
So you were alone in a foreign country,
yes, in
a jail.
And not even understanding the language.
What a terrible place. What a place to be. Let's continue after this.
Thank you, Pastor.
Welcome back to Dynamics of Life, and we still have our discussion with Vanessa Goosen. Vanessa, how did it go? You were arrested, you were taken to a jail or a police station, then you had to go through your court experience. What was that like?
I stayed 7 days at the police station, and then I was taken to court. When I got to court, I didn't have no understanding what was happening. All I could understand was my name, and when the officer would tell me to stand up and to sit down. My case took 2 years, and when I got first sentence, I did not understand what was happening until I returned back to prison, and one lady told me that I received a death sentence that was commuted to life. And then I appealed for second court, and then I received a life sentence again, and I appealed for third court, and then I received a 35-year sentence.
So you didn't give up?
No.
So during that period also, you were pregnant when you went into hospital.
Yes.
And you were pregnant when you went into prison. Tell me what happened with the birth of your child.
When I was in labor, I was unaware of it until one lady told me that I was having contractions. And after 1 day and a half, they took me to the outside hospital. And when I reached the outside hospital, I had 16 students that was there experimenting on me. It was 8 boys and 8 girls. And when the nurse that was watching over them saw that I was taking too long, so she jumped on top of me and she helped me to push out the baby. And the same with the afterbirth, that she helped to push it out. Because I was too weak, I was in labor for so long, and I had no strength. As I had to lay flat on my back, it was difficult to breathe.
So that was a terrible, inhumane experience.
Yes.
When did you go back to jail?
The same day, I returned back to jail at the back of a bakkie. It was very painful because I had 13 stitches, and the driving was very, very painful for me.
And that was the same day after you'd given birth?
Yes.
So Phoebe was your daughter's name?
Felicia, yes.
She was
Felicia.
born in jail.
Yes.
And that was an awesome experience. Beloveds, we're going to continue the discussion later on, because I believe there's now the lifetime she spent in jail and the conditions in jail. And we're going to tell you more about that when we get back.